Last weekend, a couple walked into a dealership with a printed listing and a big smile. Loaded 4x4, leather everywhere, chrome trim, all-wheel drive, every box checked, $68,000. A mechanic friend sat them down, pulled out his phone, and showed them 3 trucks. Trucks that ride like they were built inside a 5-star hotel suite, wrapped in leather and wood trim. Every single one listed for under 10 grand. The wife turned to her husband and said, "How did you miss these?" He didn't miss them out of carelessness. The entire market just forgot they exist. These are not project vehicles. They are not fixer-uppers waiting to disappoint you. They are full-blooded, body-on-frame luxury 4x4s, engineered for buyers who demanded silence, comfort, and prestige. Sitting on lots right now, invisible, because the badges on their hoods belong to brands nobody talks about anymore. Today, we are counting down 3 of them. We start at number 3 and go deeper as we climb, because number 1 might be the single most overlooked luxury truck deal in the entire used car market. Let's get into it. Number 3, the GMC Envoy Denali. If you have ever stood next to a new Yukon Denali, touched that chrome honeycomb grille, sunk into that heated leather seat, and then quietly walked away when you saw the price tag, I have something to tell you. The GMC Envoy Denali delivers almost all of that experience for a fraction of the cost, and virtually nobody is looking for it. GM built this truck on a proper body-on-frame chassis, loaded it with a full Denali interior package, and sold it alongside the Yukon at a fraction of the price. Today, the used market has erased it from memory entirely. Under the hood sits a 5.3-liter Vortec Vice 8, the same engine block that powered millions of Silverados across the same era. One of the most battle-tested V8's General Motors ever mass-produced. Every parts store in the country stocks it. Every independent mechanic has touched one. It pulls 6,600 pounds without strain. The suspension is where the magic lives. A 5-link rear setup and double A-arms up front absorb road imperfections before they ever reach the cabin. GM tuned the Denali trim specifically for a quieter, more insulated ride. The step-in height is commanding without being punishing. You sit above traffic. You feel in control. But you are not hauling yourself up into the cab like you're boarding a freight train. When new, the Envoy Denali carried a sticker between $38,000 and $42,000. Today, clean examples from 2005 through 2009 trade between $3,000 and $8,000. Before you buy, check 4 things. Listen at cold startup for a roaring fan clutch, a $120 part. Look at the transmission fluid. Dark or burnt means neglected service. Inspect ball joints and tie rod ends up front. And check the interior condition. Denali buyers were typically careful owners, so finding pristine leather is common. It looks like a $50,000 truck. It drives like one. And it costs less than a set of golf clubs. Number 2, the Mercury Mountaineer Premier. Mercury died in 2011. Ford killed the brand, and overnight, every Mercury on the road became an orphan. That single corporate decision, completely unrelated to how well these trucks were built, is the only reason a Mercury Mountaineer Premier, with a V8, all-wheel drive, leather, navigation, and power-retracting running boards, is sitting somewhere right now asking between $6,000 and $9,000. That is a brand death story, not an engineering one. And if you know how to read it, it is a significant opportunity. Here is what most people do not realize. The 4th-generation Mountaineer, produced from 2006 through 2010, is not similar to the Ford Explorer. It is the Ford Explorer. Same frame, same drivetrain, same bones. But Mercury's version came standard with features Ford charged extra for. Heated leather, premium audio, chrome exterior detailing, power-adjustable pedals, and that distinctive vertical bar grille that makes it look closer to a Lincoln Navigator than a midsize SUV. Ford engineered it with an independent rear suspension, giving it a car-like ride quality that traditional body-on-frame trucks simply cannot match. Mercury added extra acoustic insulation throughout the cabin on top of that. Owners consistently describe driving it as a genuinely quiet, composed experience. More European luxury sedan than American workhorse. When new, the sticker read between $32,000 and $39,000. The used market treats them like they are worth a fraction of that. And every single mechanical component is a Ford part. Any Ford dealer will service it without hesitation. Before you buy, 4 things. Check the cooling system and ask for maintenance records. Neglected coolant in this era leads to expensive repairs. Test the all-wheel drive in a tight circle on dry pavement. Any binding or clunking means transfer case issues. Watch the transmission for hesitation between gears. And test the power retracting running boards. When those motors seize, it runs about $350 per side. Ford reliability. Lincoln-level interior. Priced like an orphan. That combination does not show up often. Number 1. The Buick Rainier. Close your eyes and picture a Buick. There's a fair chance you're imagining a quiet sedan, something your grandfather loved. Hold on to the word quiet, because that is the entire point. The Buick Rainier is a body-on-frame, genuine 4-wheel drive midsize SUV. It shares its platform with the Chevy Trailblazer and GMC Envoy. But Buick's engineers applied every layer of their acoustic expertise to it. Firewall insulation, floor pan dampening, headliner layering, engine compartment sealing, until the cabin reached a level of silence that owners genuinely compare to Lexus. Not as flattery, as an accurate description. You can find one right now for between $2,000 and $5,000. The standard engine, a 4.2-liter inline-6, won Ward's 10 Best Engines Award 4 consecutive years. GM ran these power plants on dynamometers at wide-open throttle to the equivalent of 300,000 miles during development. Every single one was still running at the end. That is not marketing copy. That is validation data. Every Rainier came from the factory with a load-leveling rear air suspension tuned specifically for ride quality, not payload, not towing, comfort. Bilstein front shocks, Michelin tires from the factory, a setup that competitors charged thousands extra for. Inside, perforated leather, dark burl walnut trim, large easy-to-read gauges, and physical rotary knobs for audio and climate that you can adjust without pulling your eyes off the road for a single second. No touchscreen maze, just clear, intuitive controls. And because Buick attracted careful, deliberate owners, finding a single-owner Rainier with pristine leather and a full service history is less an exception than a pattern. A fully loaded 2006 Rainier left the dealership at $38,000 to $43,000, equivalent to roughly $60,000 today. The used market values a clean one at $2,000 to $3,000. That is a 95% depreciation curve. You are buying 6 decades of GM comfort engineering for the price of a used riding mower. Before you buy, check the rear air suspension first. If the truck sits low in the rear or the compressor cycles constantly, budget $400 to $600 for a refresh. Check the instrument cluster on 2004 to 2006 models for faulty gauge motors. A $200 fix. Listen for fan clutch noise at startup. And prioritize finding a truck with a clear ownership history. A Rainier that was garaged and serviced on schedule is a time capsule. One that was neglected is a different story entirely. 3 trucks, 3 extraordinary values. The GMC Envoy Denali, V8 power and Denali luxury for under $8,000. The Mercury Mountaineer Premier, Ford's proven mechanicals inside a Lincoln-inspired package, priced like a forgotten brand. And the Buick Rainier, the quietest, most refined body-on-frame 4x4 GM ever built, available for less than your last vacation cost. Every one of these trucks was built for buyers who wanted comfort over spectacle and reliability over bragging rights. That is exactly why they depreciated so hard. And exactly why they are some of the smartest used truck buys on the market today. If this helped you, subscribe. There is more coming on vehicles the market mislabels and the truth about what they are actually worth. Share it with someone who is about to overpay. Drive well, take care of your truck, and it will take care of you. See you in the next one.